if you were to have a chance to see a video that was made a number of years ago, it was about a lady who I had a chance to speak with upon returning back to Spartanburg after my last bit of schooling. I went to college and got a bachelor's in political science and in English, and I went to Ohio State and got a master's in public administration so I could try to learn what county administrators do and city administrators do, and those people that provide the support services in terms of department heads. It was a natural fit and a way of progression for me to understand a bit of the political process on the governmental service side. And then had a chance a few years later to go to law school here, back in my home state, the University of South Carolina. But in that tape, Miss Johnny Cole Stewart was referring to a young man that had came and talked to her, as I did with others, members in the State House, because I did work there when I was in law school as a policy analyst. And she said in the interview that at some point, young man, your time will come as it relates to you wanting to get involved in terms of an official elected capacity. Well, I didn't know that several years later, I would be the person having the ability to stand on her shoulders as a giant in my life and be elected to fulfill a one-year term that she still had left after her untimely passing. So I am blessed to be here. A product from Spartanburg Graduate Dorman High School, not only the first in my immediate family to graduate from college, but also high school. My father is a product of Highland. He was drafted to the Vietnam War, and for me, he has been over an Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Superman, my personal hero. And anytime I have a chance to tell people, knowing what he had to go through, being one of 7, having an older brother who passed away in his life, and being responsible for the immediate care of his brothers and sisters, as my grandmother, Miss Lou, who used to make the yeast rolls at Wade's, and I worked there too when I was in high school. When she worked, my dad would have to care for his brothers and sisters. And the example that he provided day in and day out, being a person that worked 32 years in the same job, and after finishing his tours in Vietnam, being drafted, coming back here, he maintained his status as a drill sergeant in the United States Army Reserve for another 26 years. My mother, being the homemaker that she was, she also worked. And she was the driving force for me in terms of education. She would always tell me good grades, make good colleges, and it gives you opportunities. And her words to me have come to pass in some regard for me to stand here. And I still have both of my parents, and they're with me here today, along with my wife and my son, Miles. I see a number of people that I know around the table. Some I have the pleasure of working with in recent times. And others, Miss Hattie can tell you, she lived next door to us in Linville Hills for a number of years, so she can tell you whether I was a good kid or a bad kid. But I'll let her tell you all that in private. And I even had a chance, I'm teaching a law class, and I could see this young lady, and I told her just a few minutes ago, I'm preparing my lesson, so don't laugh at me. So we'll see. But I have the chance in my 4 years now of serving on council to be blessed to be a member of the Economic Development Committee, along with Councilwoman Jane Hall and David Britton. And of course, our chairperson is intimately involved in every aspect of what we do here on council, so we say that he's a de facto, if not an emeritus, person on that particular committee. I've been involved in directly almost $2 billion worth of economic development initiatives, and of course, there are a number of things that are still going on within the next several months. I'm also a member of the Livability Committee. I think some of my council members may know, but I've started a bit of an award process, and it's an opportunity for me to recognize people that directly impact my district, in particular District 1, and we call it the Beacon of Light Award, where I may hear from someone that tells me someone is doing something that's notable, and they may not often have the chance to be in the limelight. And so I will individually go out and meet with those individuals and give them a token of our appreciation, a certificate. And I just want to recognize them and thank them for helping trying to make District 1 a little bit better. And I chair and I don't know if it's a way of my professional background or if it's a way of punishment in some capacities, but no, I say that jokingly. I'm the chair of the Public Safety and Judiciary Committee. And when I came on council, public safety, as you know, Councilman Briggs pointed out, that's one of our most urgent areas and needs in the county. That consumed the largest part of our budget. Well, there's a balancing act that we want to see in regards to that, because I would jokingly but truthfully tell people that the largest part of our budget had to deal with my committee, and the largest part of development within my particular district had to deal with issues of public safety. I think we had one of the largest bond issues just a few years after I was on council. That was just specifically for the purpose of well over $30 million to go towards the expansion of our county detention facility. That didn't include any community programs necessarily, anything that could happen outside of the detention center. It was just to address the need to expand for more bed space based upon where we were at in the county. With the exception of Greenville County, Greenville this year has placed the largest numbers of individuals within the South Carolina Department of Correction. Spartanburg County is number 2 in the state. A lot of people don't know that. Charleston is number 4. Richland County is number 3. You would think those larger counties would immediately have a greater impact. Spartanburg, we can say law enforcement definitely is doing their job, but at the same time, there are a lot of issues here. And again, for me, because I see it within my district, it reverts back to issues of economics. When I say my district, I have juxtaposed or side by side in my district, what would be the example of, you would think, the greatest part of development within the community? I share downtown, and downtown proper is actually in my district with David Britt, the largest municipality in Spartanburg, the city of Spartanburg. But at the same time, if you get on the outer edges, I have the poorest areas within our county. I have the largest Hispanic area. I know Bowling Springs has its own contingency along with Chesney, but I have the largest Hispanic area. And that's expanding with this new reapportionment as I'm getting greater numbers. And of course, that's some of the questions I've gotten from members within my district that I'm placing to the right individuals, and definitely the Department of Justice, as it relates to the expansion of people that may not have the opportunity to participate in our political process, but they still will be counted in terms of the numbers as my district will grow. So with that, I have seen the greatest challenges because there's a large city, has a number of needs, and in terms of my council district, there are a number of individuals that have great needs. Now, if you look at my voting pattern as it relates to these guys, I think she's a Republican, he's a Republican, Dale's a Republican, O'Neill's a Republican, Roger I'm still trying to figure out. But I'm the only Democrat. And if you see, again, as it relates to fiscal issues, things that would cost the taxpayers, would I be the kind of person that would advocate that we just spend? I think, the county is doing a good job. We need to make some more money, get some more money from our citizens. Let me spend on a couple of programs. I really shouldn't care. I think it's going to help people. Is that a classic Democratic position? I don't know. That's not my position because I'm a product of Spartanburg, and I do represent, as a large contingency within my particular district, the elderly, people that have fixed incomes, people that may not have outside help, people that definitely don't have the ability to generate new or additional income. So I have to be very mindful when it comes to issues as it relates to, I won't say taxes, but any type of increase that could tax someone's potential living situation. So I'm always mindful of that. So I don't take a classic, again being a student of politics, a classic Democratic perspective when it comes to certain votes to increase budgetary items that could, again, place an undue burden on people that may have a smaller or the smallest part of income, but on the flip side, will bear the greatest burden proportionally, and it will be disproportionate out of everything everyone else will face. So when you look at those matters, when it comes to dollars, that's why I make certain votes that I know will help. When I pick up the phone or have someone call me that's 60, 70, 80, or even 90 years old. And I do have a number of people that we have recognized in the district that are over 100 years old too. So I do hear from those people in my community and their families from time to time. Again, I'm blessed with this opportunity to be a young man, considering where I'm from, and to have the true ability to know when I left here, going to college, having tried to lay out a game plan to come back here and serve in some form of public capacity, and to stand here before you 4 years after being elected. It's been the greatest opportunity in my life. A lot of people, my peers in particular, once they've gone off to school, they would say, oh, Spartanburg's not going to change. I can't help it change. I'm not going back there. And many of them have kept their word. I knew I wanted to come back home and try to get involved and try to make a difference. And so that's a part of my living each and every day as I serve on this council, as I serve the citizens of District 1, and as I work with all my fellow members on the behalf of everyone in Spartanburg County. So at any point in time, feel free to call upon me. I do some other things in the community, I guess, to try to make a living. I have a law office here as well, and I do have a number of cases within Spartanburg County, Greenville, Union County, Anderson, and a few other surrounding counties. I'll take any questions.
What area is your district, Mr. Brown?
Well, if I tell you, it looks like an inverted phoenix or a bird that's going upside down, that's going to expand. We have 2 plans on the table, and we're still in the process of voting on those. But as I said, the majority of downtown, it goes out to the south side. A portion goes out to the west side. Powell Mill Road, College Park, the SMC area. It comes back up and touches a portion of the Una area. I think we're going to expand over into Arcadia proper. We come back, I touch a bit of the Wadsworth Hills area, so that covers that whole portion. Then if we go down Pine Street, if I go south to the right, that's part of my district, and I go all the way down to Whitestone. Mount Sinai's on the road, but I go all the way down to literally Whitestone. We go back up the other way, Pine Street. A portion I go, my last voting precinct encompasses a portion of the University of South Carolina upstate. So it's a spread out district. It's not as big as James, but I think all of our districts are relatively encompass a lot of land mass.
How many people in your district?
Right now I have about 32. We're trying to get to that magic number that's a little bit over 46,000. So conceivably, I will have the largest numbers. I know I see a state representative here that his district is also within my district. I think he grew about 7,000 people. I'll probably go around 11,000. And again, a good portion of that may not be an actual voting populace. We'll have to see how those numbers
So is the county council, are you guys the one that do the reapportionment? That's the district?
Well, actually that is a state.
That's a state.
State function, but
Yeah.
all districts, when it comes to election cycles after a census has been taken, they have to be looked at.
Oh, okay.
Including, and I always try to tell people this, especially when it comes to your property taxes. I think we just have to implement some things. But when it comes to the school board, they decide your millage rate, which is your property taxes, and the school districts themselves have to be looked at in terms of reapportionment as well. So no political office or political division of government goes unchecked when it comes to reapportionment. So, any other questions? John, when's the next Christmas in action meeting? Sorry, I'm supposed to be here.
Which one?
2 weeks ago. We got one coming.